So if you're up to date with any of the Delta Force events, you probably know there's an Arknights collab going on. So the most recent one, you just head to events here, Arknights Force. And Swarm Nocturne is the newest one. You get a little 2D, I guess, tile-based side-scroller sort of game. Um, and here are my credentials. I finished stage 2, and that one is a tough one. I'm pretty much just going to give a quick run through, well, as quick as I can do it. Because essentially you have to treat it like a puzzle game. So first up, since I've finished it, there's a little bit of a spoiler, but you get a little party at the end. That aside, you just want to come through here, start the game. And you always want to have estimated outcome on. You can have quick combat on if you want, that's, personal preference. And really there's only one path to start with, and you're just gonna have to run through here. I will skip most of the dialogue because I've already been through it, but I'm pretty sure you can slow it down and just check what's what. You want to grab stat buffs every point that you can, especially in stage 2. So here, right, we have two paths. Both will fight us the same strength enemy, but this one leads to a defense buff, whereas the other a health buff. You want to prioritize the defense buff, because what this does is, now you can see the health toll we take fighting this guy is reduced. So it's quote-unquote the smarter decision. And also, to access what's behind this guy in the white hood, we can just come around and fight this guy with 60. Nope, not that one. The 61, and access the healing anyway. So a lot of this game is actually just pathing and knowing things in advance or scouting and playing accordingly. So if you just want the fast version, I'll just run through here. Always check bags. There's a good chance that you get a stat boost, and if you don't, well, that's fine too. So before I run into any of these guys, I still want to explore the map and check if there's any stat boost like this one that I could grab. And as soon as you can, you want to head down here, talk to Hoshiguma and Chen. And this is important, especially Chen, because that's going to be your first trainer. And you see up here is your XP, the USB sort of symbol. You want to tap on this, and I like to do a spread of attack and defense, and then occasionally HP when things are looking dicey. You can just do it all in equal amounts, up to you. But essentially that's going to be important for taking on all the harder battles. That's why you want to take all the pickups you can. That attack plus 3 is quite handy. So now we have 21 XP. This guy in the black hat will give you 2. This guy with a white hood will give you 4. And you want to hit your XP thresholds and spend them as soon as you can. Mainly because that means all your future fights will take up less HP. And like I said, this game is essentially a puzzle where your health is a finite resource, and you want to do everything you can to, let's say, conserve that. I did forget to go this way, so that is a little bit of a stuff up, but it's not so bad. You can make a couple of mistakes without bricking your game. Hopefully I don't make too many during this demonstration. I haven't fully memorized exactly what the route is, but essentially, if you just follow this, it should be fine. You just have to do things in a logical pattern, if that makes sense. So I could run through these guys and check that bird's nest, but it might not be worth it, so I'm just going to scout first. This also might be worth it. Hold on. I think the helmeted 135 guy might give me something. Yeah, 6 XP. This guy will give me 4. Then I get access to this. But the main reason for that was so we could, you don't have to spend your XP straight away. I'm just gonna run on over to the next guy, because accessing this area is quite important. 520. We should be okay. There's a little bit of a gamble, but if I go on attack, it should be fine. There we go. Thing is, with critical chance, the estimated outcome is not always accurate. So you are gambling a little bit when you do that. I made that, so that was lucky, I suppose. I do hope everything works out for you similarly. But you want to grab all the helmets, all the attack ups, such and such, as soon as you can. I'm on the left side. Yep, pick up that helmet for free. Get this. So you get so much attack, so much free defense just by clearing out that area. And this is also a great area to be in. Everyone here is low combat stats. And the particularly important thing here, hold on, is Poncerus. Because all you gotta do is whack that guy, you get a defense buff, and that's not all. She actually gives an even bigger reward if you help her out a little bit more. I will take that health buff here, just so I can get over here. So you want to run. Actually, I might just mog that guy. Grab all this juice. At this point for me, if you're on stage 2, the LMD rewards probably aren't your priority. It's probably just going to be completing the stage. Forgive me for forgetting exactly where I'm going. I'm pretty sure I need to head south, and that requires beating this 810 shield dude, which is a little too much for my liking, so I'm going to go up here first. This is a place I neglected at the start, but you want to also come here. You don't want to push in too far, just because some of these guys will be tough. Calcite here will give you 1,000 health, if I recall. That's 1,000 plus. And then, with 50 and ample health, I'm just going to put it into my combat stats. And then you can grab this first before fighting anyone else. The shield guys are still 500, but that's better than 800. Rocketeers are 68, that's fine. They give 8 combat XP. I'll spend a little bit more just before fighting. And I'll spend a little bit more part 2. Now that's 52 per Rocketeer. These guys are 414. What I will do, I could either grab that attack or grab this defense here. I'll grab the defense. And yeah, I think it's better off in the long run. I can't fight the sniper dude. I can't get this. You want to leave this to last, just because it's a % increase of your current amount. So it would kind of be a waste to do it early. So right now we're just looking for XP, just to beef up a bit so we don't lose so much health. Like I said, health is finite, and you want to do everything you can to maximize, or rather minimize, your health loss in every battle. A little bit more of that. Now gunners are 30, which is great. So what we can do here, I'm just gonna mug this guy. It should be okay, I think. Oh, it's the wrong way. Actually, no, I think it's fine. These guys will... You can either do toss or sing. I usually just do singing because I get to keep the LMD. Not that it matters, but... I really did go the wrong way. Hold on. Not that that's a bad thing to do. Not that that area is unnecessary. But if you want to optimize, it's this guy I'm trying to get to. I forgot. Just before I fight the shield guy, I'll buff again. Remember, just like buff as soon as you have the necessary amount of XP. Just because saving as much HP as you can is important. This guy will talk to you. Oh, sorry. What you have to do before you talk to him is after you finish helping Poncerus, you have to talk to her again. Like that. And she'll basically say something along the lines that these people are being annoying and she wants them out of the way. You can fight him, but I'm a little bit weak right now. I'll just pay him. Easy as that. Before I get into any more fights, talk to Poncerus again. 20 defense and all this juice behind her. We can mog this gunner here if we wanted. I think I might scout for a couple more goodies. Let's grab this. Attack up. Now the shield bros are 95. Looking good. When they're 0, you might as well just mash him. Behind this guy is a crit chance and an access card. That's alright. Nothing great. In here is pretty good. Now, I'm weighing up is 400 worth. Attack up, defense up, and health up. I could come back here. It's pretty much figuring out, do I want the immediate sacrifice or... Because 400 is like 4 of these dudes if you think about it. So essentially, we don't really have to take it on now. We can look at what's available to us. And I think this is all pretty comfortable stuff. So I'd rather do this and get more XP and stats first before taking on such a hard-hitting enemy. And we still have like 2000 HP, so it's comfortable. You also want to make sure you get here as soon as you can, but there's not much you can do about that until you have enough combat XP, because that's your next trainer. That's Schwartz. And also here will give you a bunch of stats as well. So the best thing we can do is really just find XP so we can get a little bit stronger. A little bit more attack, always more attack. But do try and keep your stats balanced, because you could definitely brick your run if you focus too hard on one and not the others. 44 should be handleable by now. And we show up here. Now I do think instead of 400, these guys are now 258, and we didn't lose too much health from all the running around that we've done. Sometimes a stat boost will not change how much damage you take in the fight, or the estimated outcome. That's normal just because of the way the combat works. The defense or attack, say like if it takes you 3 attacks to kill them and the +4 damage that you deal doesn't change 3 attacks, you're still gonna trade that much damage, if that makes any sense. But here you can grab all this. We can basically just run through all these guys like paper now. Not a worry. And also you want to come here. I should have been here earlier, I'm not gonna lie. Actually, I might save this, because using Schwartz, which is 100 XP per stat, is much more effective. Anyways, Hoshigama is asking us to settle this debate. These two guys are fighting over the crocodile. You can either kill the crocodile, one of the two guys, the gunner, will take us less damage. So I'm going to squish him. You talk to her about it. +10 defense. You talk to the croc, he'll give you 10 attack. And I've never tried killing the croc because I wouldn't do that. I'm a good guy. And I just free him. He gives you 1000 HP. And you want to leave the last guy alive regardless of who you decided to kill, because later in the Tower of Babel, Hoshigama will reward you for being merciful. So now we can consider fighting these dudes, but I think we should clear out this area first. So what I'm gonna do, actually, maybe, okay, look, it really is an order of operation sort of game. You want to do everything accordingly. I will use this now. That's 5000 HP, because it's plus 50% of your current HP. I'll get that later. That's dangerous stuff. So I'm gonna try and unlock Schwartz right now, which means taking on one of these guys. So I could buff my stats and reduce the damage I take, but I kind of want to save it for Schwartz specifically, if that makes sense, because it's more stats per XP spent, if that makes sense. So what we're gonna do is just take this guy on, hope we don't die. All good. And now between these two, Ceylon will give you the option, well, so Ceylon will give you the option to give you one of the access coins to the museum. So a later part. This is basically a mandatory item. You can either have over 3000 HP, or you talk to Schwartz and under 500 HP. I used to go with Schwartz, but it's too risky with how the combat is calculated with crit to reliably get under 500. I've died multiple times, so I try and just go to Ceylon now. But also after that, if you talk to them again, Ceylon will sacrifice attack for HP. I prefer to go to Schwartz, who will sacrifice HP for attack. And now we've unlocked her as a trainer. I I will go for more attack because I'm just that kind of guy. Very offensive. And we're in a lot better position, I think, to take on, especially this guy. Pick up that if you can. Let's see. We're still, like, 500 damage is still painful. We don't want to just be taking on the sniper bros willy-nilly. And so same with the crocs, they're also still quite dangerous. But we still need the gold coin, which is later in the area. Well, northwest actually, but you get the deal. Oh yes, here. So now when you're strong enough to get these guys, prioritize this. It's 20 defense off rip. Pretty nice. And this guy who was 14 is now 2 damage. Very nice. And he gives 20 XP, so I'm back at 100. I'll even out my stats. I'll go defense. You almost, if you path correctly, almost never need to forge a Havoc data access keycard. So don't worry about that. As long as you spend your access keycards correctly. If you follow my pathing, you should be fine. You don't want to come from the top there. You want to access this character, so you can just kill that croc there. Swire. Sorry, I don't know her name. I played Arc Knights once upon a time, but that was too... Okay, well, I fucked that up as well. You actually want to come from this side, because you need to access the burlap sack, but... yeah, just don't do everything I do. Watch it first. Anyways, what you want to do is meet halfway, take what's yours. If you want stats, and because we want stats to survive instead of just LMD, because we're here on stage 2, the goal is to beat stage 2. What you can do is take every single coin, except the last one. You talk to Swire again, and you say, yeah, I got some of it. You get stats. 800 HP, 5 attack, 5 defense. That's fantastic. Really, really good stuff. And you get the gold coin. And on top of that, you talk to her again. Actually, we kill this thing. Kill this rocket rat. Because he's a thief. Talk to her again. And then you request to buy pot and pills together. We don't need the LMD. We're just here to win. 3000 attack, HP, 15 attack. Huge stats. We can train again with Schwartz. Pop that. Now these guys are 200. It's really not so bad anymore. I do think the safe up top might be worth it. So we'll take that 200 damage. 500 health. 500 health is fine. I was hoping for, you know, attack up, but depending on your luck, you could get something good, you get something garbage. The 6 attack and the 400 health increase there is worth that. The damage taken. It's basically just revisiting a lot of areas and then optimizing your pathing. Let's see. Where can we go without fucking things up? We can actually go in the museum now, actually. Actually. Yeah, that does seem to be the play. Let's go in the museum. So basically, you need the gold coin from Swire and the silver coin from the Schwartz and her lady. I forgot the health girl's name, but I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Something like that. Anyways, most of these guys will be chumps. So these doors, something like this, that's what requires an access keycard. You can't really soft lock yourself here. Access keycards become more worrying later on. But look, there are 2 here. You can spend them, and you'll pick up 2 anyway. And you can come in from that side, so it really doesn't matter. You can't really interact with those guys. You can just bomb this guy. Pop this safe. Nothing spicy. You want to pop this switch. You don't have to talk to Exercise just yet. Calcit will bother you. Talk to Saeed. Ask him about... He'll tell you about power to open this iron door. And then that'll pique your interest. Grab more stats. We can run through most people now. 200 isn't too bad. Swish this guy. Obviously, don't be, you know, silly about your health and just run through dudes without checking that you're capable. But I've done this enough times at this point because I saw all my mates struggling horribly with poor optimized routes that I decided to make a walkthrough, right? Talk to Race as well like you did Saeed. Just hit the buttons. he'll tell you that you need a bomb, which is interesting. Also, there's another one of those cans, which is percent attack increase, so just hold on to that. You don't need to grab it now. That's upstairs, quote-unquote, done. We'll kill this croc now that we're strong. I don't know what Dragon Gate coins are, I'm not gonna lie. We can kill this guy, because there's a lot of stats in here to pick up. Fuck that up. There we go. Reds are always good. You get coins plus stats. Really, I don't care too much about the coins, but you do what you do. 100 again. We'll balance it out to defense. We can pop that guy. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna run on over. Grab this crit, because you will need this this crit. Mark that guy. So we have 16% right now. We want just a little more than that. I think we can handle 100 health loss on these guys. 172. We'll run this way. We have 16% crit. We need the one behind this Crocs. So we're at 19. And then here's the last one that we need. That's 22 crit. And the reason for all of that is, remember, you have to talk to Raze first. And then you talk to Vizadel. And then you say, oh, I got more than 20% crit rate. She'll give you a bomb and a ton of XP. Wicked stuff. And so now that that's done, I mean, basically, so here's the thing, right? Everything that you do outside of the Tower of Babel, which is the final section, will not matter. So essentially, the big fight at this section is gonna be in the museum. And what's interesting is I actually don't know how to get in this area, no matter what I do. I don't know if it's just supposed to be a tease, or you're actually supposed to do something special about it. And also, if you're not in the Tower of Babel, you cannot access Vizadel. So just feel free to kind of go ham on your stats with Schwartz. These guys are still kind of tough. But basically what my point is with that is I don't really need to optimize too much when outside. See, I didn't ever pick up this can of greens, but I might as well now. Am I going? Well, yeah, I'm going this way. Get a little turnaround sometimes. If they had a larger map, that would be nice, but I didn't draw it out myself, so you get what you get. You can just mark these guys now for like very little damage. You want as much XP as you can, like I said. Now this guy's also blocking that up. See, so this is a data server for 50 attack. You want to pick that up when you can. I might get HP here just because things might get dicey. So that's 50 attack. I will buff attack one more time because there's a percent attack increase here. And then this is percent HP increase. Makes us quite happy before the big fight. And so now, basically, have I pulled this? I think I have. I might as well double check. Yes, I have. So you want to pull both levers and acquire the bomb. And once you've pulled both levers, you want to come down here, talk to the executor bro. He tells you to deal with these goons. No worries. I'm just gonna mark his... Actually, maybe I don't mark him. I just tell him to go, because I'm nice. And so what that does, you talk to him again. He basically unlocks the... So what happens is Raze gives you an option and Said gives you an option on how to open the vault. When you activate them together, this is what happens. They fight each other instead of you. Otherwise, if you choose only one option, you're going to have to fight both of them consecutively, which is tough on your HP. And like I said a trillion times, this is a puzzle game where your HP is finite. You don't want to be spending it needlessly. And you still get XP from this fight. Yeah, 300 combat XP. And then now you fight the weakened Raze in hyper mode with 22% crit. If you're as unlucky as me, you might lose more health than you should, but hopefully your fight goes a little better. Ta-da! Okay. Done and done. And then, you get this. Like, you can open all this. But, essentially, all the stats that I have now don't really do anything. Which is... well, it is what it is. But, that's fine. Like, you can talk to Race and Saeed. They don't really say much. I still don't know how to, access that one section with that requires, what do you call it? Dr. Prometheus face scan. Like, I'm here collecting this. You get some LMD, you get some stats. But once you enter the Babel Tower, none of this matters. So you can min-max the area if you want. But, like, I can just mark this croc. But, thing is, when you go in the Tower of Babel, all your stats get reset. So it's kind of pointless. Like, I can try this again. No go. I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, we can ignore all that. Because none of that matters. You just have to go in. And so I have 777 XP. These are my stats down here on the bottom left. You take a step, you get marked. You died, Texas will tell you you're a chump, and you go upstairs. So, you pretty much only have one path here. Collect all the stat boosts, or else you'll die, pretty much. Go on your way. This Mullins will taunt you. You can only go left here. This is the same thing as the beginning. This helmet will give you a better... even though you take 140 now, all your future fights will be less HP damaging. So make sure you take that route first. And here is where you want to be very careful with your access cards, right? So right now I have 2, but there are so many doors where I can end up just wasting it. Because here, if I open this door now, I don't get anything out of it. I can't fight these guys. I don't get one back. It's pointless. What is a good place is here. You get a lot of attack. You get 4 guys to kill. So now that I'm at 27, you're going to have to train your stats up from scratch again. That's fine. We can handle that. It's just what you did outside, but all over again. I'm not sure what triggers what, but pretty much sometimes these guys will be nice to you. I've had one where accidentally I just murked him. I don't know what the deal with that was, but Wealth I think will give you LMD, but right now we just want to win, so we take Survival. Pump that. Wisdom gives you 30 combat XP. Strive gives you 2 attack. So if I take Wisdom here, it's 20, sorry. But 2 attack is half of this, which is basically 12 XP worth. So you want to take the Wisdom every time, because I can get 4 attack instead. And we just pop that guy and go on our way, because everything else on that floor we can't really do much with. And just nab this young lady's belongings. Ceylon will give you 1000 HP. And this you always want to take. 10 damage decrease, 5000 HP gain. That's huge. Just take it. Just take it. Every time. Here. Always get the bags and pickups first, just in case you get a stat buff. I wouldn't open this door. I have 1 key card. It would be a huge waste. So I'm just going to keep moving. Here, I have to consider. Let me think. That's a question mark, bro. I could get key card and some goodies. Alright, so since I see another key card up there, and this typically gives a good... there's a high chance of stat buffs in there. So it's kind of a gamble, right? I can run this way as well, but it's quite challenging still. So what I am going to do is just gamble it. Hopefully this goes fine. Like, even if it doesn't. Okay, so we already paid off. Attack +3. That's fine. And a red. There we go. So that already paid off with just 1 stat buff. But now we can go through this guy with less trouble, and we get an access card back anyway. And that'll give us 25 again. I think I should pop into defense for a bit. And because I can't really... killing this guy will not give me enough to get another stat boost. So I'll kill this guy and get a stat boost here. So that when I fight this guy, I take less damage. This is the sort of like mindset that you need when you're traversing optimally, quote unquote. Obviously, you're free to make a couple mistakes here and there, but if you make too many, then you're probably just gonna soft lock yourself, and that's definitely troubling. I do think so. Vizadel will be your trainer in the Tower of Babel when you can reach her, when you can earn 300 XP. The bottom floor is still kind of challenging, so not much we can do here. Especially the big guys with 16k damage on us. I am considering taking this route, but maybe not quite yet. Just run along here. This guy's pretty much just gonna be a headache no matter what. So you just kind of have to deal with it and take a big fat damage to the face, but then you get 6 defense for your troubles. And you come up here and it's a lot more lax. I will spend some XP. It didn't reduce the damage I took that fight, but that's okay. So this is the part. Oops, not Schwartz. Chen, please. More defense. So this is the part where it can soft lock you, because essentially if you don't have the strength, which you can't, pretty much, like I've spent every single piece of XP on stats, you cannot fight the sniper guy without dying. You have to open this door pretty much. And that's pretty much what we're gonna do. That's all we can do. I'm sort of figuring this out as we go as well, because I already forgot the optimal route that I was running. I am kind of weak at the moment, kind of rough, and I'm all out of cards. So here's praying that we don't die. Ay caramba. Oops, not that. Oh, I might be in a bad way here. Uh-oh. Hold on. Let your boy think. If I open that instead. Oh dear. $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. I can tank 3,000. This is gonna be kind of silly, but that's sort of the go that I had to deal with. Gonna run here, pop these guys. Hopefully this gives us something nice. If not, it's not the end of the world. It might be soon, actually. 1, 2, 3,000 down the drain if I run that. Oh dear. Might have to. I don't know if I can. Ah, I'm dying. At least now those guys are 6,000. So we're gonna take this route. Now that we have key cards. Key cards are everything here. And they're very important. So I can either go up here or go down here. I do think maybe this might be the optimal. And I will spend on HP. Not with Schwartz, with Chen, because I'm poor. Whack that guy. So now we can open this. Free, 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 free. Do not take this yet. You want the percent increases last, because Desmolins will not be kind to you. But what that does for us is we can kill this guy. A little bit more attack so we don't take too much damage. Can't really reach Calcit right now or any of this stuff back here. The gunners are now 1,000. damage to us, so they should be manageable. I'm not saying fight them all right now, but this will give us 20 defense. So that might be worth it. So now those guys are like 61. It's a lot easier on the health bar. Come down here. And now that you pretty much want to interact with all the NPCs that you see. Chen there just gave us, I think, 20 attack. You want to save this encounter till loss as well, because she will multiply. Texas will multiply your stats. You want to save that till later. I might mark these guys for the time being. I do think, even though saving stats might be good, I'd rather just fight this guy now. And then here we can finally fight the gunners, pick that up for a 50 defense increase, which is chunky. And that means we can come here, kill this gunner. Come here. Ooh, I'm kind of low on health. I will just pop that just in case, because remember, the crit does throw off your calculations a bit, so you can definitely always take more damage than it says you will. Just keep that in mind. Now that Ponticris is here, she'll give us a 20 for helping her. I will spend a card here because I can't reach it through these snipers, and that just lets us take all the goodies, the stat buffs. These Mullins will taunt you a little bit more. You can mark that guy, and you can just come, sneak behind, grab all these goodies. We're almost at this stage where we can pretty much reliably get 100 XP without being in danger. Now I have 6 access cards. You will want to open both top and bottom. Make sure you pick up that defense. Yeah, you want to open both top and bottom because lots of XP, money if you care about it. I will spend on Schwartz here for attack. And then we come up here, 4-7. Obviously the 1522 is a bit damaging. You don't want to run that just yet. I am considering just opening this here. We have 5 cards. It should be fine. What we can do instead is come through here. Take that. Take that. Take that. I wish it would give me stats, but that's okay. And we get another 100 XP on defense. Now that Crocodile only did 14 damage. Easy as. Take these 3 cards. And then this gives us Executor from the museum earlier. We can chat to him. Those were some good stats. He'll give us 5% crit. What a nice gentleman. We can kill this Croc now without much hassle. We can kill these guys up here. Those 2 for some XP. Not much hassle. This guy's 679 damage to us. I think we'll just buff our attack. Now it's 500. All good. What Swire here will do, because we don't care about our LMD, she'll increase our current combat XP by 50% if we half our money. So you want to maximize how much combat XP you have before you talk to her. And we can do that by just marking those guys. I'm considering... Well, you do have to open this, so I might as well just do that now. Kill the Croc real quick. That's 500. I don't really have much HP to spare at the moment. So we can run back downstairs. A lot of it is backtracking as well. We'll mark this guy because he's 18 damage. Don't take any of the painful squares. We can mark that guy. Skip this encounter entirely for the time being. Like I said, a lot of backtracking, a lot of optimizing your routes. I haven't really drafted up a fully optimized route yet, but it's possible so far. Can't fight anyone here. But on the second floor, it's pretty much easy pickings. I don't need to open that actually. I can... Well, actually I might. So with 7 access cards, I will in fact open this. get a bunch of XP, and you get an access card back anyway. I'm gonna mark this gunner, mark that guy. Come around here. So now you see we're stacking combat XP, which is good. These guys give 20 and they're very easy to kill. It's good for us. Snipers give 15, so it might not be so worth when you fight them. Here's stacking all this combat XP for when we talk to Squire? The money lady. The money lady would give us a lot of goodies. I do think I can tank this, and it's worth it for all these. That's 8 defense and a lot of health, and then a safe as well. Goodies. Any stats? Any stats in chat? That's worth it. 5 defense. Another red, 5 defense. And then this guy here, as long as you did the same operations I did, I think he's one of the machine gunners that you find fighting. He'll give you, I think, a bunch of XP, 100. So you want to chat with him before talking to Swire. We can mark this guy. Probably leave those fellas there. Well, I'm considering killing them for all the XP gain that we'll get. It might be worth it. Because when you fight, because they're giving 40 XP, which is very decent. Very, very decent. Because even though they might be more difficult, doesn't necessarily mean they give more XP. So just keep that in mind. Okay, with 7 cards, I will also open this, just in case. Not worth it. I got scammed. Don't open that. I regret everything that I've done in my life so far. Scratch that. Yeah, just keep going up. Keep going up. Dodge these guys. Not worth it. Very risky. Okay, now I will swire it. So this 868, no problem. 1300 battle XP. First things first, health, because we're kind of dying. And then a little bit of these, and then I want to go for crit. I'm gonna see if I can get as much crit as I can. So now we can, now that we're a lot stronger, we can pretty much run over all the guys that were giving us problems before. So we have 300 again. So the joke is, it's getting stronger, and then running back down and squishing everyone. Getting stronger, going up, going back down. 68 is still not very great for me. So we'll see if we can find other dudes to squish before we have to deal with 68. But if not, then you just take it as it is, which isn't so bad. Obviously, we can step into here now. But like I said, because it's a multiplier, you want to leave that till last. You pretty much need to. This is definitely worth it. He's 200, but he's guarding a bunch of goodies. What we can do first... actually... No, we'll just fight him. We'll just fight him. Because there's a can of beans here. I was gonna say maybe we talk to Kautsit first. But she only gives you a health buff, so it's not like her assistance will reduce how much damage we take. Because consider that health and defense are only tools to reduce how much health damage you take in the next fight. Whereas health is just a finite resource that you can increase independently. So they're multipliers in a way if you think about it. Just to simplify the concept. So increasing health doesn't necessarily make the next fight easier, just means you survive it. I could open this for a little bit more XP. And obviously the access cards, but I'm not fighting a 12k HP guy. Alright. That's fine. That's a-okay. We'll just run through here. So we're just cleaning things up a little. In fact, you will need to open this at one point. Well, not need to, but it's optimal. And we talk to Kautsit now. Give us a bunch of HP. All those kills were a bunch of XP. And then this save here will give us something nice. Hopefully. There you go. 3 defense, 4 attack. We have 300 300 XP again. Run past all these fellas. This is actually a very time-consuming game. I thought I'd be here for like 5 seconds when I first started up, and then it kind of just sucked me in. And, well, I kind of liked it. It reminded me of like old Flash games, which I was a huge fan of. Here also, because now that I can kill these guys reliably without too much damage, and I have the health for it, you want to go in this room no matter what, because that's a 50 attack buff. You take 2,000 damage for it, no worries. 50 attack. 50 attack is essentially like, I don't know. If you take Schwartz's thing, by her training standards, that's like 250 combat XP. Definitely worth it. I'll run through here, squish these guys. And then we can come up here. So this guy will be a problem. Actually, you know what? I think there are a couple of weaker dudes over here, so we don't actually have to fight them right now. Where are we? Here. 3. Oh yeah, so this is definitely the correct way. Come downstairs first. Squish those guys. We have 6 cards. 7 if you count that. We're fine to just go in here. No problems there. Go in here. Now if you talk to Hoshiguma without killing both parties, she will talk about how nice everything is. You're here too, mate, and she's kind with you. Otherwise, she'll say like, "I was afraid you'd flatten everything," like the Hanya you are, which is like a Japanese demon sort of thing. And she gave us 20 defense, which is much appreciated. Every stat that you get here, very important. So like I said, we're going for crit, which is we're trying to get to exercise. So the crit will come in handy in a minute. But now that we've cleared out the bottom, let's go to the top, because there's a lot of stats for grabs up there. Right behind this guy here. And the money too, but that's not as notable. Make sure you also leave this till last, like I've been saying. Percent increases means you want all that at the end. I am also considering just running in there and marking a couple of those, but maybe not yet. 400 is definitely manageable, but not something we should take if we don't have to. Because we're minimizing. If we can find someone weaker, obviously here it's either an access card or fight the guy with 400. Here I'm fine with fighting the guy with 400 when I have 18,000 HP. That's fine. Yeah, it's 28 now that we can. So now you'll see we have 25% crit. If I go to Vizadel, you can't actually, once you're greater than 20%, you won't be able to. That's fine. We'll just go back to attack. These guys will do 15k on me. That's not so bad. I am considering, not 15k, 1.5k. If I did my maths better, I could probably figure out a more optimal route. But I didn't, so I might just mark these guys. Those shield bearers, Havoc shield bearers are 50 XP. I'll try and keep that in mind. So that 200 for 50 XP. I think that is becoming worth it. I don't think I cleared out the bottom floor, unless I'm tripping. If it is, skip forward. Forgive me. Just watch me scurry around. Behind that 1590 is a decent bunch of stats. It's not cleared out. Okay, right. So we can come in here, squish that guy. Hopefully something nice. 3 attack, always welcome. 4 attack, always welcome. So 270. We should hit 300 on this guy. Those are 60. Even out the stats a little bit. We can squish this guy now. It might not be necessary. So we can go 1470 twice, or just pop an access card, pick up that attack, and just not fight these guys yet. Because 1470 is a lot of damage to take. and I do think 1,000 is also a lot of damage to take. So I'm just gonna keep running, doing the rounds. 61 is fine, we can mark him for 50 XP. Because right now we're just looking for loose XP that we can turn to stats. Or just loose stats on the map itself. So 1470. He'll have defense and a safe, which might have stats behind it. I can just chance this. 70 XP. Stats. 800 health is fine. That might be a little much. I am considering starting to pick up these because when all your targets seem to be a little tough, that's when you want to start thinking about picking those up. Not all of them. Just enough so that everything's manageable still. Like, you never want to overcommit on your stats. Just because, like I said, you want to save it for as late as possible. Here is a good place to start now. So now I can mark these guys. That's what? 300 XP all on its own, plus access to everything in the room. So if we get all of this, this will give us a 50% health increase. So I am going to save it for now. Maybe when I'm a lot chunkier and I pick it up, it'll be worth it. Just run through here, real casual like. We can mark these guys, no worries. So that's a 20 defense increase that we saw before. I am just gonna... I was thinking HP, but while we're here, I think we might just do this. That's... Oh, we might want to talk to Schwartz, actually. Because there's also... So you see, there's the health... the armor there, which is 20. There's the armor there, which is also 20. But Schwartz will give us a stat buff, so we'll just fight these guys. And then 50 attack, which is colossal. That's very good for us. Then we can come around and just do the same thing, even though the 600 is very painful. But we're gonna have to come down here anyway to get all these access cards, all these health kits. Could pop an access card there. It does seem like the way forward is north. We will have to fight that tank at some point. It's 8,000 right now, which is still not something I'm comfortable with. But we can go through these guys without too much hassle. Pick those up. One more round of buffs. There you go. No worries. 6,000. We're gonna take defense this time. Now he does 5,000. That is reasonable. But now that we can squish flamethrowers and co without too much hassle, I am gonna do one more backtrack. And I know it's kind of tedious, but that's just the way to optimize. That's just the way to optimize. You can't really do too much about that. Still saving Texas for later. That's okay. She will give us a pretty stat boost. I think, so these guys are about 70 a pop. Yeah, real good stuff. There's another tank there. We don't have to fight it just yet. This guy's blocking everything, and we can just run him over. Hopefully the safe gives us something nice. There's something nice that I ordered. Caviar. And we can run over these guys. This is worth opening for 7 attack. We can run over that guy up top and pick up all the cards that we're missing. 8 cards now in our inventory. And like, you can definitely waste your cards if you know what I'm saying. Like, you can, oops, I didn't mean that. I thought it would stop here. But yeah, like you can waste your cards that easily. So make sure to just be careful with your pathing. Because if you don't, you can soft lock yourself and you just end up having to restart or die, pretty much. I will, actually, consider maybe not fighting that tank, but I'm considering a health buff or 2 stat buffs. Because I have 600 right now. It's hard to decide, but it's not like health is ever a bad thing. We'll see, we'll see, we'll see. Let's just get back to where we need to. Yeah, I spent way too long on this. I failed stage 1 actually because I kept pumping attack like a bozo. And then I watched my friend do the same thing and I thought, you know what? I kinda should just make a guide because everyone looks like they don't know what they're doing. This guy does 5,000 to us. We can tank that already. So I'm going to do this. Now it's 4,000. Now you'll see it's not always 4,000. Actually, this time it was. Turns out our crit was not lying. But this is the area I was worried about. That's why I was considering health. But we have 10,000 left over. And it's not so bad. So what I'm going to do... Let me consider. Because all our attack ups are still downstairs. And we might have to backtrack through them. Which may or may not be good for us. That's tough. You know what? Should be okay. She'll be right. You can take this route. Pick this all up. Do not take the juice. Do not take the juice. The canned beans. I don't know why I keep saying juice. We will get more attack and then some health because we are going to have to run back through that. And we can just murk all these guys, no worries. And you want to come down here. Actually, because it's proportional. That's right, we'll leave that. 25,000 health is enough. It's definitely enough to go through that back and forth. So the 25% crit rate, this is why. You get to talk to Exercise, and what she does is turn your crit rate into attack in proportion. So if you say I don't want to, so 1,008 with 25%. Now it's 1,500. Pretty good. Pretty good. That's a 50% increase. Fixed. It's a fixed increase. Whereas, it depends if you're as unlucky as I am. And because my crits never land, I decide to always take that. And it makes it even better. You should use your cards on all these though, by the way, for all the XP. I'm ignoring this because you take an extra 1,000 damage, which is just not necessary when, I should have picked that up actually. I will do that. Which is not necessary in the long run. When you're not looking for money, we're looking for victory. Stage 2 victory. Just run. Now that we've done all that, I do think it's fine to run back and pick up all the goodies. Because that 50% increase on our attack, and then all of these goodies will give us another percent increase. Obviously, I suppose it's fine either way, but as long as you do Texas loss. So I'm gonna use this now because there's not many dudes to kill anymore, and we can't really level up too much. We're eating all the juices, eating all the canned beans. So we're pretty much clearing up all the floors from 6. I think it was 3, 4, 5, 6. I forgot. But before I talk to Texas, I'm gonna go and grab these. I do think that this auto bot only gives us 150. It'll still be worth killing, but because I can't get a stat boost out of it. Have I killed everyone on the 0 floor? Or first floor? I think I have. Yeah, cleaned up. Good thing I already opened this. Anyways. So, those like 6 panels of just damage tiles, you pretty much don't want to be going back and forth over those. So when I say leave it till last, this is sort of as last as we can go without running back and forth over those, which is fine. So now you see HP times 2, damage 1.5, defense 1.5. Grab that, grab that. Now we can get these. We have 53,000 health, 5,000 attack. Decent numbers. 5,000 plus 3 is always welcome. Grab these. It's very nice bags. Now we can go down and fight the funny little robot, because our stats should be much higher now. And of course we can just grab that, because percent wise it shouldn't matter which one comes first. I don't know if my maths is just bad, but actually I should have leveled up there, but that's okay, we'll survive, hopefully. Now we're at 5,700 or 5,750 or 5,760 if you want to round. It's just a lot of backtracking. Calm down. Back to the stairs. 4-6. Calm down. 4-7. Calm around. Right, it's what, floor 9? That was the pain in the ass, or pain in the feet when you walk on them. Yeah. So another 6,000 damage to get to the next staircase. That's okay, because everyone here will not even scratch us. So I can hold on to this much because I'm not losing potential health by not upgrading, if that makes sense. Whereas here, say like every time you upgrade and the estimated value goes down, that's a good thing. But 0 is already the least damage I can take, so I don't really have to worry about that. So I can hoard my XP, not for any particular reason other than it lets me be more flexible on where I think my stats should go later on in the fight, or later on in the level. But here you can see I'm just using my access cards willy-nilly because we're getting to the final stage. After floor 10, you'll fight this Molins. De Molin. I don't know how to say it. And they will, so here you see 9,453. I might as well just pump my stats. 1, 2, I might go for crit, because crit is nice. Because basically, consider this. When your stats are like 6,000, the bonus 60 that you get is very small compared to the chance of tripling your damage with a crit at 5%, if that makes any sense. So now, we'll see if we actually take 5,000 damage. Something tells me because my crits suck, I won't. I'll take more. Okay, that was nice. That was really good. Those Molins will talk about how HP, defense, attack, and crit are the governing stats of this world, this little simulation they got going on. And they're not wrong, but, you know, they don't like the uncertainty of crit. Technically, neither do I, but, you know, we're the good guys, so we have to, like, not adhere to the system. Now, we see this Molins has about 48k on their head, 49k. It could be troubling. Yep, that's as much as we can get. I will pump these a little more. So these numbers aren't going down. That's pretty much because, if you look, 780, we're already blocking their entire attack, and you can only negate until 1 damage. And then it takes us 4 hits to kill them, or 5, depending on who goes first, with the crit factored in. So essentially, we're already minimizing their damage. When it's a single digit number like this, it pretty much means that's how many turns it takes. And the only way to reduce that damage is to kill them an entire turn faster, which is essentially double your damage. Or, maybe not double, but a multiple. Not necessarily 2x, but 1.5x maybe. So we have 1919 stats to play with. I'll pop a couple here. And because 40,000 doesn't look very nice, because we have 40,000 health, now at 73,000 it should be a little more comfy. And this is where everything you've done has been building towards, and hopefully you win this fight. Just as I do. If you followed everything I did, it should go alright, but obviously crit is crit. You can get lucky, you can get unlucky. It factors in crit. You should win regardless, with a lot of health to spare. And she'll... That's the end. You get your stage 2 Amio avatar. I can even put that on for you right now. Ignore the Gunnar Toxic. I didn't put that on. No, someone else did that. There you go. Ta-da! There's stage 2. That took a while. Okay, thank you.